Hi, I'm Andy Holzman of Family Tree Counseling Associates. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I work in Carmel, Indiana, but I'm available at 317-457-8668 or aholzman2 at comcast.net. At Family Tree, and me specifically, we work with individuals, with couples, mostly relationship work. That's a big focus of ours and a focus of mine. So this video I'm calling I don't like mine and I don't trust yours. And it's about family, and it's about family at holiday time specifically. When family season is upon us, it doesn't really matter what time of year it is, but the holiday time of Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever it is, it really puts a strain on families. And the strain tends to be that we have expectations foisted upon us. We may love our family, we may love our spouse's family, and we may enjoy them totally, but it is a lot of energy and a lot of stress sometimes to go from family to family. So it's a complex mix. It's a complex mix of joy and stress and the expectation of fun and the sense of what might happen, the concern that your spouse may not enjoy things as much as you do, or the shutting down because you're tired of the same old stuff and it's hard to set limits with your family because your uncle is going to do this, or your mother is going to do that, or your brother is going to do this, or your sister is going to act a certain way. So those things, they're going to happen. You expect them to happen. You worry about them. You may enjoy very much your family, but there might be particular people in the family, or it might be your spouse who is stressed by your family. So it's kind of powerful and deep in the bone pain for many couples in my experience. How you see your family, how you see my family, how you handle your feelings, how you talk about your feelings or not talk about your feelings, how you deal with limits. All of these things are very stressful. For the spouse, it might be, will you protect me? Will you choose me over your mother or your father? Why can't we agree or get along? Do other spouses find this to be so difficult as we do? Depression, anxiety get thrown into the mix at both the idea and the reality of family gatherings. Family patterns emerge in the handling of how things should go and how your spouse handles themselves. Issues of too much togetherness and too much separateness emerge in terms of who you are and how your spouse is. So everyone is a little different in terms of how they handle wanting to be close to family or not wanting to be close to family. Some folks have said, I'm not going to deal with the particular brand of craziness of my family or your family. And other people just kind of jump into the mix every time. There always seems to be one side of the family that is problematic for the couple. Sometimes for many wounded individuals, and this is where I come up with, I don't like mine, so I don't trust yours. Or competitive individuals, I won't enjoy or visit yours since you give me a hard time about coming to mine. We're always seeing your family, we're never seeing my family, and your family is so close, and we're so connected to your family, and what about my family? So that competition comes in too. It's both sides of the family sometimes that are problematic. Often it's talked about and often it's not. Sometimes it's not. For couples, it's a drawn-out nightmare of fights and hurt feelings and just no way that they can resolve this issue because your family is important to you. As much as they may give you grief and as much as it may be difficult to see your family, they're still your family. They're still important, and you still keep on trying a lot of times, even when you've gotten rebuffed and you've had distance thrown at you and abandonment and criticism. You still try. Or your family may be great and your spouse just doesn't see it. Your spouse has their issues with their family of origin that they're projecting onto your family. So there's all kinds of things that can bring up these disagreements and these fights. Couples seem to handle the family visits in several possible ways. Some couples, of course, enjoy the interaction with their partner's family, even sometimes more than visiting their own family. They may have had a very dysfunctional, as they would say, dysfunctional family, with abuse, addiction, abandonment, and their spouse's family might be very loving and very caring, and they may just be very close to that family. So that's a possibility. Some couples get along with both sides and have decided on how to handle the variables of closeness and distance. You may have had a family that doesn't talk much, or doesn't hug, or doesn't get close, and your partner's family may be the opposite of that, or vice versa, of course. Your family may be very close and hugging, and your partner's family may be a little bit cooler. How do you handle that? That's, kind of a negotiation that both members of the couple have to talk about and deal with and come to some kind of agreement, or else there's a lot of resentment and a lot of frustration when you're in a foreign environment. So many couples, though, encounter stress in balancing couplehood and extended family. For those who see the partner's family differently and challenge the long-held beliefs and patterns of their spouse, several patterns may emerge. Either they're continually battling about it, never seeing or validating the other's pain. The battle creates a pain of having to defend family, and the confusion as to why your spouse acts in ways that make it difficult for them to enjoy your wonderful family. So you see your family as the way family should be, and you don't understand why your spouse, maybe because of the issues in their family or things they pick up in your family of origin that you don't see. So the closeness that you enjoy for them may be engulfment, overwhelming. The independence that you feel may be for them coldness and coolness. So it just depends. It depends on how the family that the partner grew up in was, and how your family is, and how sensitive they are to that, and the relationship that you have with your spouse, of course. Because if you two are getting along, it's going to be a lot easier than if you're having difficulties. Then it's just another thing to tick off, to fight about, because family is very powerful, and as much as you may be disenchanted with your family, you're probably still going to resent somebody else judging them. So having to explain why you feel excluded from the other's family, and how much you try, they won't accept you, sometimes comes up. Some members in families or partners of a spouse try, and they're excluded from being accepted, being part of what that other family does. It's a very enmeshed family. You might have been very drawn to your partner because their family is very close, and the reality is when you get close to that family, they might just be close and excluding all others. And as much as you try, it might be difficult for you to break into that, or to be accepted, or to be cared about or loved in the way that you want to be loved, and that can be very, very frustrating. A partner may say nothing, go to family and quietly resent it, and pout, passively acting out their anger at a later time. So that's another pattern, right? I may go to my spouse's family and feel left out, and feel angry, and feel uncared about, or feel engulfed, and not say anything about it. And then when we get home, something's going to come up, and it's going to be an overreaction to whatever has come up, because all this anger is being held on to. The results in you make the other partner pay for your inability to say, set limits, to say no. This individual acts out against their feelings, and ends up creating a lot of misery in the relationship, because they're keeping things inside and they're not talking about it. Maybe they need to ask to not go to that family if they feel so resentful of it, or maybe again they can find ways to be real and honest in the family. That's very hard to do, especially if the person whose family it is not very accepting of any type of reality check. Another choice that partners may do is to give up the fight and see family separately. I've seen that. They effectively split up during the time when the couple could be doing birthdays or Christmas or holidays and see their own families. One family goes here and one family goes there, and or they go, one partner rather goes here, one partner goes there to see different families, and they don't repair some primal issues in their relationship because they're always avoiding them. This couple is tired of fighting, not only for the issue but for the marriage and the connection to each other in some ways. They've just in many ways given up on something very important to resolve. Sometimes you feel like the other family will never be like yours, even if you were uncomfortable, rejected, and out of place in your family of origin, like I was saying. It was still what you knew and what you know. It's hard to psychically and emotionally reject what felt correct, even if you think you've put it behind you, especially if you think you've put it behind you. So you're used to your family, even if your family was not satisfying and not supportive of you. You're used to what you know, and the other family is different, and it's going to be hard to resolve. Again, this is something that is worth talking about, whether in something like therapy or with your partner. It could even be harder if you felt comfortable in your family of origin. Why then is the person that you love not getting it? It's easy to blame your partner, create a rift for not being easy in what you know to be a comfortable and happy family situation. So your family is very close and very loving, and your partner seems to create mountains out of molehills, creates all kinds of problems. And that's difficult to understand. It's why are they not loving my family the way I love my family? So distance and enmeshment are the culprits. Shame, control, rejection are issues that both partners may be dealing with even when they're unaware of them. So let me say that again. Shame, control, rejection, abandonment are issues both partners are dealing with even when they're not aware of it. Too much abandonment or too much closeness result in seeing your family in unrealistic ways. Awareness of your family of origin patterns and the ability to not act out those patterns or take on and be responsible for your partner's emotional pain is a key to a healthy relationship. That's really hard to do. I mean, we're very close to our partner. We're very intimate with our partner. We feel very much affected by what they're affected by very often. And so if they're in pain, if they're upset, then we're going to be too. We may, though not act in a supportive way, if they're upset, we may resent it. So not having to take that on, not having to be responsible for whatever issues they had from their family of origin is healthier. It's hard to do, but it's very healthy. And that's the work of recovery, therapy recovery. The enmeshment of distance in your family or in your partner's family will create feelings. Feelings should be discussed and not used as a club against closeness and flexibility. Awareness of your own feelings and behaviors in potentially explosive situations can go a long way to reducing stress and arguments. Real connection involves the difficult balance of intimacy and independence. Independence and intimacy. Those are being self-actualized, being independent enough to not be swallowed up, and being aware that closeness, intimacy, being real, being connected to the person you love are very important as well. So some people go one way or the other too far. They're too enmeshed and they're too involved in their partner's life and their expectations for their partner to be something and to do something are unrealistic and are frustrating, or they're too cut off and closed off and seemingly not caring about the relationship. Both of those are the extreme and not healthy in the relationship. So balancing and being flexible, in terms of being intimate and being independent, being self-actualized, are important. Like I said, awareness of your own feelings and behaviors in potentially explosive situations can go a long way to reducing stress and arguments. Real connection involves a difficult balance of intimacy and independence. Family issues can challenge this balance, but awareness and healthy action can make a difference. Healthy actions such as talking about it, seeing what patterns are emerging, seeing what your families are like, so being informed, information of family of origin issues and how you react in those issues. Is your family too overly enmeshed? Is your family too cut off? Is your family close, not close? How does that affect your partner? Why is your partner in your life? I mean, this kind of opens up that too. Sometimes you find someone who's very different than your family for reasons that are unexpressed and indirect. You don't know about it, but it's important. You may have felt like you were engulfed by your family, and you need to have someone in your life who's not going to engulf you, or maybe you need to have someone in your life who's going to engulf you a little bit so you can work it through, because it's more of an equal footing. You're closer to a partner than you are to a parent, in the sense that you have more power in that relationship. So, like I said, family issues are going to challenge this balance, and holiday season and times when we're getting together a lot are going to bring up these issues. Are you going to go to the family separately? Are you going to go to them together? How are you going to deal with it? How are you going to talk about it? If you do, it can go a long way to making you as a couple closer as well. Thank you for listening. Andrew Holzman, Family Tree Counseling Associates, 317-457-8668, or aholzman2@comcast.net. I'm open to a call or an email. I take Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance. Thank you for listening again. I will talk to you next time. Bye.